Are you waiting for me, sir? I was waiting for you, just respect. But well, a little bit about getting a win. You and Leon kind of keep rolling along. This is one of those nights where it seemed like almost everything went well for the team.
Yeah, it was a really good night for us, I think. Game and a game that we have to get used to winning. And in years past, we would have tried to open it up and force our hand. And we just kept playing. We kept doing the things that we thought were going to help us win, and we didn't try and recreate the wheel or make plays out of nothing. We just stuck to it.
You realize you're only 6 points out of a playoff spot after all of this?
No, I haven't. No, I don't. But we just gotta. I mean, it's a long season, and when you're 6 games below 500, it's a pretty hard road to the playoffs. But it can be done, and that's our ultimate goal at the end. But our process is what's going to get us there.
It's not just the centerman. That's the whole guy. All 5 guys. You got to be able to, jump through it and get that puck back. But we had a tough time doing that, and eventually, we got our. They put out lines and kind of, got our PP slapped a little bit, and got sent out and sent a message, and we got out there and scored a big goal. So, like you said, it was a good perseverance night.
And perseverance on that goal itself, because obviously there was a scramble and it looked like Kincaid was trying to trap it or block it with a stick.
Yeah, I saw it loose. I'm glad the ref didn't obviously blow the whistle. So just going on the net, Halsey kind of threw it out front, and I think Teddy got maybe a piece of it, or somehow it ended up over to me. So, like I said, just kind of stuck with it, and it was good to kind of get that because, like I said, Jersey's a tough team to play against, and with the power play opportunities we had, we had more than one to kind of put them away, and we finally got one near the end there.
Did you get a sense that a game like this was coming for you guys, the way things have been going leading up to it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing well, but I mean, there's no moral victories anymore. We want to win hockey games. We found a way to win tonight, and that's great. I mean, obviously we go to work tomorrow, and we got to start stringing some wins together. I mean, you can't just be one and done and be happy with it. We got to find a way to consistently play well, and obviously we got a big road trip coming up to the east, and a lot of good teams. So we can find a way to get over that trip, over 500, and start putting some games together here, and start getting some games back.
That kill, going back to that kill, it was a critical time in the game, and it was 53 seconds through it. Like, what did you guys do well on that? What was the key to killing that penalty?
Well, I thought the guys did a real good job, eliminating the shots.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of clean looks they had, whether the one-timers were there, and the looks they did have, Anders came up with saves. And when you're in a 5-on-3 situation, you're going to need the goalie to be big, and he was in that situation. So. Credit to the guys that were out there killing that. It was a huge turning point in the game. I think the momentum really swung our way after that. And the Kill did a good job stepping up.
Mark, is that the performance and the end result somewhat relieving for this group, or how would you sum that up?
I mean, I don't think our result, our effort and the way we played was as complete as we wanted. There were some lapses in the game. In particular, our power play wasn't very strong early, and actually led to a lot of momentum they were getting. But credit to the guys sticking with it. Got a huge power play goal, the 3-1 goal. And I think that's part of the belief system. Coach talks about sticking with it. Eventually, it's kind of a next play mentality. Even though it's not going well, guys are going to get their opportunity to make a difference. And fortunately, they did tonight. So it's nice to get the reward finally for the work and the effort. But I don't think this was our best game we've played. I think we got the result.
How nice is it to be rewarded personally to get a pizza like that and to convert, and it doesn't have to be Taylor and Leon scoring all the goals all the time, although they did have a good game.
Yeah, no, they were great again tonight, and I like that they got the empty netter too. The fact that they've kind of been carrying us offensively to get an easy one for them, I think it's earned, it's rewarded. But for myself, yeah, it's always nice to chip in offensively. But the things I'm most proud of is the face-offs and the penalty kill. The things I have to be there every night for my team. Not necessarily always putting the puck in the back of the net, but Those other things are part of my foundation, what has to be there that leads to wins for this team. And sometimes it's going to be a goal, so it's nice to get it.
Having said that, you have talked about secondary scoring and being one of the guys that could be relied on to score a few goals here and there. Sometimes does it take one like that to kind of get a little bit of momentum offensively?
Yeah, anytime you get one, hopefully you string together some momentum, some confidence. But again, it's not something to hang my hat on tonight. I'm more happy with the 2 points. And as cliched as it is, that's what I'm here for. It's to, kill penalties, win some faceoffs, chip in with the odd goal. Tonight, the win is most important.
Nothing wrong with that.
We didn't play to our capabilities, and the result was what it was.
Was it hard to get flow with all the penalties?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if it was flow. It was just we didn't really play well enough in any facet of the game to really be able to find a way to win, whether that was penalty discipline or 5-on-5, special teams, everything.
You haven't lost back-to-back games since the beginning of the season, more than a month. Why do you think your team wasn't able to rebound tonight?
Well, I think you have to give some credit to Edmonton. I thought they played real well. They got off to a good start, and I thought they played solid. Even when they had the lead, they did a good job. And on the flip side, we didn't have one of our better games or efforts, I should say, but a lot of that is attributed to Edmonton also.
What's been the problem the last 2 games getting shots on net? You had only 18, I think, tonight, 2 in the third period, and the other game only 20.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of a combination where, even tonight, we have to have a much harder, stronger, more committed work ethic in the offensive zone to be able to get the puck and then win more battles, spend more time there, and then get the puck inside the dots into the net with a net front presence. In the last 2 games, we didn't have that anywhere near the level it is to A, be able to get shots, or B, be real threatening scoring-wise.
The number of penalties you took tonight bothered you?
Too many.
What did you think of the goaltender tonight, of Keith?
Wish we could have helped him out a little bit better. Thought he fought, thought he battled. We got to play much better in front of him.
You got to play him more just so you know what you got with him?
No, I mean, we feel confident in both goalies. We think both Corey and Keith can play real well. He's a big part of our team, and he earned the start and deserved it.
Is there any chance Patrick plays on Sunday?
Yeah, we made it tough on ourselves. They played well. They did exactly what we thought they were going to do, and we were on our heels and we didn't play our game, and saw what happened.
Why do you think you were on your heels?
I don't know. I mean, we weren't we weren't getting out of our own end clean. We weren't getting we weren't putting pucks in the right places in the neutral zone and on the forecheck, and it just seemed like we had a large gap between forwards and a D tonight, and that when that happens, you create space for them and let them use their speed.
Feel like you were in your own zone a lot tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I mean, it's obviously we had a lot of PK too, a lot of penalties, and it seemed like we were, the first wasn't very good, and the second seemed like we were getting going there, and every time we did, we took a penalty or something happened, and it seemed like we couldn't sustain our momentum going there.
So it sounds like you recognize everything that went wrong. It's a 1-goal game for the longest time. How come you can't get that push?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. But we know the type of team we are. We play for 60 minutes and we play hard. And tonight we were up and down, and that's what happened.
And it was just something the Oilers were doing that contributed to that.
Yeah, they played. Like I said, they played well. They did. You know, they like to use their speed there coming through the neutral zone, and that's what they did. And you know, we didn't you know, combat that very well.
No, I gotta expect anything out there. You know, give us a shot 2 down. It's easier than 3 down, so it's my fault there.
The coach said he felt like you battled. He wished the rest of the guys would have given you a little more help. What did you think?
I felt good. You know, I think our PK was great, but you know, too many opportunities. You know, they scored on the last one to give them a 2-goal lead, but you know, I think we responded well in the second, and then you know, late in the third, you know, we're really at it, and you know, if we give a full 60, then maybe it's a different outcome.
You said you felt a bit rusty when you played Vancouver, not having played in a while. How did you feel from the start tonight?
Honestly, I felt great. You know, I felt in control, and you know, I felt my movements were good. The ice was good, and you know, just unfortunate they made some good plays. You know, they're a skilled offensive team, so you know, credit to them.
What about Hall and Draisaitl? Just a lot of skill.
Yeah, you know, that first play, you know, maybe come out a little bit more, try to cut off that pass, but you know, even to get that pass through, that's a skilled play, and the finish was even better. So.
Oops. Hi, Drew.
You sense relief is the right word, but a positive result after a positive effort means something to the team?
Yeah, it certainly does. You know, the ironic thing about tonight's game, at least from my perspective, I didn't think we were as sharp or as polished as we were in a number of the games that we lost. So we weren't quite at the level that we had played at, and yet we won the game. So when that happens with as few wins as we've accomplished over the last little bit, we can't over-critique it, but I think there's areas that we can sharpen up in. So you take, and you got to really look at it fairly every night. And there's nights, I think it was the Chicago game when I was in here and said I was pretty happy with the effort. And tonight I was happy with the effort. I didn't think we were polished, though. I didn't think we were sharp. I didn't like our power play. But to win that type of game was big for us.
You're new around here. I don't know if you figured out the scenario with this team's winning record against the East, and you know, they're 4-2
this year.
This year, and you obviously haven't played many games, and
No.
you got a whole schlock of them coming up.
Well, we're jumping on that plane on Sunday to go out east and play against some real good teams, and East, West, Central, North, Pacific, whatever the divisions are now, they're all important to us. And sometimes not knowing the history of the team and who we struggle against, and I don't even want to know that because I think we're starting fresh, and we've got Washington schooled us last time we played them, and we're going into their building, so we better be ready.
Would it surprise you if I told you you're only 6 points out of a playoff position?
Not even going to talk about it or think about it. We said at the beginning of the year we're not doing that. We're going to talk about getting better every game. Talked this morning about the spirit of the team and the body of the team. The spirit got massaged a little bit tonight with a win.
Another night where Leon and the line put up points. He just continues to produce with some consistency here, and it doesn't look like it's smoke and mirrors. I mean,
No, I wouldn't call it smoke and mirrors now. Smoke and mirrors, you do it once every 4 or 5 games. He's consistently doing it. He's getting good help from his line mates. It's been a real good line. Teddy's gone up there and complimented it well. Again, they got on the board tonight. I thought when we moved our power play units around, they just went out as a line and they settled things down. So they were a big part of being the catalyst for the team tonight.
do you foresee doing that moving forward a little bit, Todd? Just like they have such good chemistry 5-on-5 that maybe that's what the power play needs. Is to
Potentially, yeah, you could see those guys. We've already talked about it getting back in, but the power play up until the last couple of games had performed well. So you've got to give it a chance to come out of it. We don't want to show the players any sign of panic from a coaching perspective, but we may be going that direction when they are playing together.
Coach, Nielsen has a kind of almost half of his career wins against New Jersey. Was that something you're aware of going into the game, that he's going to be riding some confidence against this team?
No. To tell you the truth, again, it's a little bit like Jonesy's question. I don't want to know about the past. I just want to know what we're dealing with now, and I wasn't aware of that. We just felt like Nielsen's been the guy over the last little bit. And again, he played well tonight, so good sign for him and for us.
Nielsen, you won tonight, you played well last game, did not play very well against Washington. You going back to them against Washington?
Geez, I don't even know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow yet, Matty. We'll figure that one out in the morning. Good chance, though. Okay.
We'll talk about